What is fitness? When you hear the word fitness, I'll give you something easier. No, fitness and exercise, I'm using synonymously right now. They both mean the same. Here's an easier task. What are the ingredients that you need to make pancakes? Perfect. So that was pretty fast. All right, so you know the ingredients on the recipe on how to make a pancake, right? What are the ingredients that comprise fitness? Yes? Energy. You get energy from being fit, but that's not the definition of fitness. Yes? I'm sorry? No. Diet. No. Yes? Yes? Body, mind, and spirit. That's part of having the energy and the mind frame from being fit. But what are the physical ingredients? You have to make a fitness cake. You want it to rise. What are you going to put in it? We already know how to make the... Boy, that was fast with the pancakes, right? What do you put in to make a cake of fitness? To put in the oven in order for the cake to rise? Ingredients. What are the ingredients? That's as a result of fitness. You want to get that. That toned body is the cake rising, right? Okay. So now we know why no one in this country is fit. Think about it. If you don't know the ingredients to make a fitness cake, can the cake ever rise? There we go. Remember I started out by saying you're going to get the multivitamin of fitness today? What I'm interested in is re-educating you, reprogramming you, so that when you go about your daily task, you know what the heck you're doing. What is the purpose of being fit? Live longer. Part A, correct. There's a part B to that, though. Live longer to be more productive. Anyone can live longer. They can keep you alive on every drug in America today, right? But are you going to live longer and be more productive? That's what I'm here for. So, let's get into a little bit about the ingredients of fitness. I haven't forgotten that. And there are 5. The first one is cardiovascular. The second is flexibility. The third is muscle strength. The fourth component is muscle endurance. And the fifth component is called body ratio. How much out of your body weight is good, meaning muscle mass, and how much is fat? So now you know the ingredients that comprise a fitness program and to bake the right cake, and now the cake can rise. The problem is that aside from not knowing, it's the application. What do I do? I have a bad knee, I have a bad back, I walk with a cane, I have a bad heart. What am I going to do? So, out of those 5 components, they all work synergistically. In other words, if you take one of those ingredients out, you put the pie in the oven or the cake in the oven, it's not going to rise, no matter how long you keep it in there. So, we want to be more active, right? There's an old adage out there, people try to get fit by being active. Why don't we get fit to become more active? It's a different mindset, right? We all want to be more active. For instance, how many people here like gardening? Okay, so a lot of people garden for their activity. But imagine if you were fitter, how much more you can garden, how much more you would enjoy it. It's an enjoyable thing to us, but we can't do it more by doing that activity. We have to get ourselves fit. Out of those 5 components of fitness, flexibility, endurance, strength, cardiovascular, and body ratio, which one do you think is the most important? Flexibility. Because flexibility takes stress off of your joints. And I'm going to show you how to stretch properly before you leave here today. How many people have tight hamstrings here? The back of your legs. One person. So all of you have great hamstring flexibility. In other words, if you were to just put your legs apart and slowly go down, keeping your legs straight, would you be there? Would you be there? Would you be there? Where would you be? If you can touch your toes comfortably without bending your legs, then you would have very good flexibility. Why is having good hamstring flexibility important? Yes, very good answer. Protects your back. How many people have back issues here? A lot of people raise their hand. Tight hamstrings is married to back issue. Got it? So you want to have a healthier back? Increase your hamstring flexibility. That's why people don't exercise. Let's look at and talk about some ailments. Osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, heart issues, back issues. How do you solve those issues? Can't get rid of them, but how do you solve them? How do you make it better? I already gave you the answer. By becoming fit. How many people here have done a rehab of any sort? Heart, back, knee. One person in this entire room, but yet no one exercises. Wow, you guys are an anomaly. Okay, so what is the purpose of physical therapy? The purpose of physical therapy is to get you strong enough so that you can be exercising. What happens is that we go through therapy and then we stop, don't we? And then, yes, it is true. And we stop because we don't possess the knowledge of how to keep strengthening our bodies in order to be more active and to try to get strong enough to become fit. As in anything, there is an education process. And there's so many materials out there of everything what you read. For instance, everyone reads that we need to have, if you have more muscle, you burn more fat, correct? And that is accurate. However, there are many, many ways to have and possess more muscle in your body and less body fat besides from lifting a weight. Because maybe you can't lift that weight because you are suffering from RA or osteoporosis. Or maybe that weight is too heavy, but it's the application. Don't we all want to get the A in gym class? Right? You want to get the A in gym class. Well, today when I'm finished with it, you're going to get the A in gym class. I want you to leave and I want to impact you as far as understanding that I am selling you something today. What I'm selling you is to buy in to the concept of, if you listen to me, that you're going to learn the ABCs of starting and maintaining a fitness program. That's what I'm selling you. It costs mind, money, and time, but it's going to save you time in the end. So, how many people here suffer with a bad back? All right, so just tell me one thing you're doing to help that back issue. Anyone? And what are you stretching? Okay, has it helped you? Okay, and how often do you stretch? Okay, anyone else do anything besides stretching? Yes, sir.
I sit on a 95 centimeter ball, and I do various movements while I'm sitting on that ball.
Excellent. Has it proven to be helpful somewhat? Good. All right, so as we become older, we lose motivation. Would you guys agree? We do, right? Wouldn't it be nice to have a helping hand, to have an Edward in your life? Well, I'm going to try to give you that information so that I'm resonating in your mind and that you can remember that. I'm going to show you how to properly stretch your hamstrings in about a minute or so so that everyone should be doing it. The other reason why you want to stretch your hamstrings, it allows you to have a better gait in your walk. It allows you a longer stride. It allows you to take the stress off the joints and put the stress to the muscle, which is what we want to strengthen. How many people here exercise 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week? Okay, so I find it interesting that none of you could tell me the components of exercise, but yet some or half of you are working out. So my next question to you is what are you doing when you're exercising? Remember we talked about getting the A in gym class, the multivitamin of fitness? So you're exercising, right, once a week? What are you doing?
Just the bends.
You're bending, meaning what? Show me. Okay, so that's not exercise. That's part of stretching though, right? Right, so would you consider that exercise? I don't want to judge it. How about you guys? Is that exercise? No. I already told you what the definition of exercise is. It's when you do cardiovascular, flexibility, strength, endurance, and body ratio. So let's ask this again. Is that exercise? Good. That's why it's not effective. That's why you can't touch your toes yet, can you? When? No. No, what I'm saying is that why are you doing that?
It just
Feels good? Okay, so do you suffer from any medical conditions?
they say I have arthritis.
All right, well, everyone does in our bodies. Okay, but other than that, you're pretty healthy. So do you walk at all?
Yeah, usually I walk up here.
Okay, and how far is that?
From FDR, drive up here, then back.
Okay, but she failed to mention that, right? So you are doing cardio, and you're doing somewhat of flexibility. See, now we're getting somewhere. What I want you to do is do it all together. Warm up your body first, then stretch. You jump rope. Now she's into jumping rope. So from the beginning,
I've been skating for 3 years, but I still jump rope.
well, that's great. So we know if you're jumping rope that your arthritis isn't that bad. Otherwise, right? See, we can do a lot more than we think we can. That's phenomenal that you're doing that. Now you want to put it all together. And how do you put it all together? What's the starting point? The starting point is you want to look at 4 factors. Your lifestyle, which means when and where and how you're going to be doing your exercise regimen, and your medical and orthopedic background, which is going to tell you what not to do. Then you're going to look at your body type, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And that's going to tell you what exercises that you should really focus on. And then we're going to look at your current level of fitness and motivation, because that's going to tell you the starting point. Do I start out mild, moderate, or intensity? Or real intense? So you're someone who's fitter than you have made us to believe, which is wonderful. You're already jumping rope. How many other people in here are jumping rope? No one. By the way, jumping rope, you can do it, is the best exercise to combat osteoporosis. Number 1 in the world. And you can start out slowly. But you want to look at those factors that I'm just talking about. No one in this room is really that overweight, which is phenomenal to see. So all of you guys are moving, right? You're walking, you're moving. So do you want to get to a better place? I don't know. I can't answer for you. Do you want to go to a better place? Okay. That's why you're here, right? All right. One of the reasons why you're here. Yes. Exactly. We call it nirvana, that nirvana called fitness. How do you get there? Okay, so can you stand up again and do that stretch for us? Come on all the way. Come on up here with me if you can. How old are you?
77.
77. We should be like that, right? So I think jumping rope maybe got her there, don't you think? Let's put her feet wide apart. Let's go down towards her toes again. Okay, come on up. All right, so she can almost touch the ground, right? All right, so in 3 minutes she'll be touching the ground. 3 minutes. If she doesn't touch the ground in 3 minutes, anything you ask me to do, I have to do. Deal? All right. How's your back? Good? Good. Let's get down on the mat and face me. Yep. Good. And shimmy up to me. Excellent. Put your feet together. Let's put our right foot over our left, but put it higher. Good. Turn to your right. Take your left hand here. And look over your right shoulder if you can. Good. Now stay there. I want to get this leg on the ground if I can. Good. And turn and look over your right shoulder. That a girl. And now switch up, left over right. Nope. Your other left. Straighten out both legs. There we go. Perfect. Nope. Now you're going to turn right that way, but see if you can get this leg a little bit straighter. Perfect. And now you want to turn to your left and look over your left shoulder. That's called the torso stretch. Let's put our legs apart and put your legs inside of mine. Good. I'm just going to gently. You walked over here, right?
I didn't today because I was running late.
Okay. So let your body release your body. Good. And just let me take you. Good. So when you stretch, you don't want to bounce. Do we know why? Because bouncing is called the ballistic stretch. And if you go past the point of where your body can take the stress, the muscle might not snap, but you might pull a muscle or get a cramp. So bad, good. Eventually you'll get there and beyond. And you want to try to warm up prior. So doing a warm-up of a walk 5 to 10 minutes or more prior to stretching is a good idea because it allows your muscles to be warm, right? You ever watch the Olympics? Sprinters, they jog around the track, right? And then what do?
Then they run.
Then they stretch. And then they get on the starting line, right? So, we're getting into the 4 phases of a workout. Warm up, stretch, do the actual workout, and then cool down. There you go, you're loosening up. Breathe. Good. Now, groin stretch. Feet together. Pretty darn good, huh? She is? Good. Grab your ankles and press down with your elbows. See your elbows? Gently press down. There you go. You should feel that right in your groin region, right? Breathe. Good. And put your feet out in front of you now. Straight ahead. So, you're not going to have an Edward in your life pulling you, right? So what do? What you're going to do is you're going to grab your socks. Go ahead. And that's going to allow you to pull yourself forward. Perfect. Keep bending from the waist and hold. Good. And if you can go beyond that, you can put your hands there and use that, or a towel. I don't like rubber bands because they can snap and they can break, but a towel is safer. A little hand towel or a longer towel if you don't have that kind of flexibility. So watch. I want to show you something. Now you're going to lean on your right elbow. Good. And we're going to stretch the quad now. Grab that ankle and turn the hip out, and you should feel it right on top, right? Now, most people do this stretch standing up, which is going to stress the knee joint. You won't feel knee pain there, do you? Now, roll to the other side. And now, the opposite. Good. And come down on your elbow. Go down on your elbow. She moves pretty darn good, doesn't she? Right? Good balance. Good alignment. And now one more stretch. And then I either have to do something really radical that I don't want to do, or she's going to be able to touch her toes. Let's get up in this position if we can. Good. Go back down on that. Bend your knees and get down. Good. So you're going to bend your knees and bring your hands down to the ground. Good.
I don't think I can do that.
Good. So yes, you can. Then let's go up against the wall. Here, come. Like that. There we go. Now put your feet together. Keep them straight. Come up on your toes. Go back on your heels. And now stick your rear end out and shift all your weight into the back of your legs. Feel it in your hamstrings? Now, put one leg in front of you. And now heel on the ground and lift your toe towards your chest. Feel that in your calf?
Yeah.
So these stretches you want to be doing every day. Now switch up. Good. Left foot in front, left foot. Heel back. That a girl. Good. And then stand up. All right, let's come on over here and let's see if the cake is going to rise, right? Let's put our feet wide apart. All right, go down and touch the ground. Come on. Yeah, touch those toes. Good girl. Good, and stand up. Good. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you, Dr.
So,
Jakowski.
well, thank you. And that's how you stretch your hamstrings and your whole body. Pretty good. Didn't take that long, right? The other thing is this. Watch. Let's say that you're starting to stretch out, and you can only go that far. The great thing about fitness, and remember this, is that it's all relevant to the subject. In other words, if that taxes my hamstrings, that has the same effect as this does on my hamstring stretch. So that's why a lot of people, especially men, don't stretch, because they can't touch their toes, right? You're like, oh, I can't touch my toes. What's the use? Well, that's because she didn't start out that good. You've been doing it for a while, right? So this becomes that. That becomes that. And so on and so on. Okay? The good thing about fitness is that after a year, the body acts as if it's been working out its entire life. Pretty powerful medication, right? So now you see why flexibility is so important. It's her flexibility that has kept her so active and the ability to be relatively pain-free, right?
But they say I have arthritis, but
Well, I wish I had arthritis at that age, at 77, huh? Thank you. Don't worry, I've got plenty in store for you today. Plenty more. All right, I need you to interact with me a little bit. I need you to start asking me questions that are relevant to your issues, to your problems, to your ailments. Go ahead. So everyone's perfect. I can go? Yes. Okay, are you stretching like that? Well, now you know how to help remedy that, right? So when you don't stretch and you're exercising and walking a lot, the stress goes more to the joint than it does the muscle, and the muscles shorten. They don't shrink, they just shorten. The muscles shrink what is called this atrophy, and that's when we don't use them. Okay? So we want to stretch after you do that cardio. That's important. Okay? Next. So you feel soreness in your legs after using them, right? Before. Okay, so you need to warm up and stretch. Do you have rheumatoid arthritis? A little bit. Well, let's talk about that, because everyone pretty much has some form of arthritis in your bodies after 40 years old, okay? The catch-22 with RA and all forms of arthritis is to be able to exercise so that it can help alleviate pain Not long term, but short term. And that's where the motivation comes in. Because when you're that hurting, you don't really want to move, right? Does anyone here, when you wake up in the morning, how many people here feel some kind of ache in their body? I do. Do you? No one else? Half the people here only. Okay, there you go. So that goes towards exercising still, and we call that exercise therapy. Exercising your whole body, but paying a little more attention to what needs to have some therapeutic help. Okay? So that's important. So what's more important, cardiovascular or lifting a weight? Not necessarily. It depends on what your body's lacking the most. So there are rules and there's protocol. So if you want to lose weight, do you want to do more of the walking and the biking or some weightlifting? Walking. Very good. That's the right answer. But let's say you can't walk fast enough in order to get your heart rate up or in order to burn enough calories, or you can't walk fast enough without putting undue stress to your knees and your back and your joint or your hips. How many people here can't walk fast enough to really receive a cardio benefit? Okay, so what are you doing for cardiovascular? Right. Well, I think a lot of that is your flexibility. But you, ma'am? Nothing? You jog. Aerobics. What do you mean? You do aerobics? Okay, so you do aerobic classes, which is a form of cardiovascular exercise, which is part of the recipe to bake the cake, right? Very good. But let's say that you either don't like aerobic classes, or you can't do it, or feel confident enough to do it, and you can't walk fast enough, right? So what are you doing now for your cardiovascular? Probably nothing, right? No, that's for building muscles. Weightlifting is not going to help you cardiovascular-wise that much. There is a benefit to the heart and to the muscle, but it's not going to really increase your cardiovascular. Here's the answer. We're all sitting down right now, right? They have a gym area. They have a new area here coming up with gym, right? Right? How many people belong to the Y or go to the Y? There you go. So there you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to get on a recumbent bicycle. You know what that is? It's a bicycle that you sit in, and it supports your back. And you lean back in it, and you're able to move your legs. That's called a recumbent bike. It's made for people with knee issues, back issues, who can't walk fast enough in order to receive the fitness benefit from walking. Does anyone know anything about your heart rate when you exercise? Have you heard of in your zone? You're in your zone. No? They have a printout of it there, right? Okay, so in your zone means that you're getting your heart rate up high enough to receive health and cardiovascular benefit. And you figure out your zone by taking your age and minusing it by 220 and timesing it by 50% for people that are not fit and 70% for people that are somewhat fit. And that's the number that should be showing up, beats per minute, each and every time you're doing any type of exercise. And you want to sustain that 50 to 70% for 1 minute, to 5 minutes, to 10 minutes, and get it up to 30 minutes. How many people walk here for 10 minutes or more? You all do, right? Well, guess what? Your heart rate is probably not high enough to be getting all the benefits that you can be getting, and the reason why is that either you can't walk fast enough because of orthopedic limitations, right? Yes or no? Thank you. So how do you get that benefit? Well, You get that benefit by getting on a recumbent bicycle. And if you don't have access to one of those, you ever see those peddlers where they just have a pedal on one end and a pedal on the other, and they're about this big? You can do it with your hands or your legs. They're relatively inexpensive, $20, $30, less than a half a meal in Manhattan. That's what you want to invest in, a peddler. And you can do it right at home. So there's so many things that you could be doing more of that you're just unconscious of. You're not thinking of it. You think, oh, if I'm active, I get out today, or I didn't get out today. No, you got to get outside. You got to get moving. But you can't get moving if you don't have a game plan, right? You got to have that game plan. So who here has weak abdominals? I want you with the bad back. I'm Edward.
Hi, Gail. Hello.
Gail, how are you? How old are you, Gail?
I'm 40 plus.
Okay. Lie down flat on your back. The other way, where you're able to see right. And you can sit up there. Let's put our legs apart a little bit. And let's stretch our hamstrings. Legs apart and legs straight. And let's stretch our hamstrings. No. Stretch your hamstrings. Yeah, that's it. Good. Well, she was paying attention. Right? Good. That's pretty good. All right, so what back issues do you have? Any surgeries? And so who diagnosed you? Self-diagnosis? You had an MRI. And what did they tell you? L4, L5 region? Okay, but do you have a herniated disc? Okay, so what are you doing now? You said you're stretching, like that. And what are you doing for your abs?
Yoga.
No, that's not, I mean exercises. Yoga is a form of range of motion. All right, but you don't really, all right, so do a sit-up for me that you do. This is good. Okay, good. So are we watching this? Okay, so in everyone's minds, except for science, that's a sit-up. That's what is called a crunch. But we use sit-ups synonymously with crunches, don't we? Because everyone thought that was a sit-up, right? Until I broke her heart. So bend your legs. Good. Lie down. Good. Let's take our hands like so. And lock your thumbs together. Put your arms behind you. And I'm not going to hold your feet. I'm just going to balance you. And bring your arms all the way up. And do a full sit-up. Come all the way up. Good. And go down, right. And swing your arms forward. Good. And come up. A little swifter, please. Good. And rest. That is a sit-up. You can see the difference, right? As long as you're not locking and anchoring your feet, the stress is not going to go to the back, as that didn't bother your back, did it? And it won't. But a lot of you may not even be ready for that, right? Because you're looking at it, you're like, oh my God, I can't do that, right? How many people raise their hand are saying, there's no way I can do that? A lot of people, right? Okay, good. So watch. So how do we get you ready? Remember we talked about this becomes that? So how do we get your abs strong enough to be able to do that? If you could do bent knee sit-ups on a mat with your feet on the floor, make believe my foot is the edge of the mat. You wedge your heels against the back of the mat for balance, and that's going to keep you aligned to be able to do a full sit-up. And if you do 5 and your body says stop, you stop, and next week it's 7. And the next week it's 9. So let's do a crunch, because a lot of people can do that. So let's lie down. Good. I'm going to turn you sideways, okay? So just sit back up again. Good. He's got pretty good abs, actually, right? To be able to pop up like that. I'm going to twist you.
Twist me.
Good. Yeah, you can lie down. You don't even have to be on the mat. Just lie down. Yeah, good. Lock your hands behind your neck, under your hair. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Bring them up now towards your chest, your knees. That's not the exercise, unfortunately. Okay, that's getting her in position for the exercise. Now come up and reach with your elbows towards your knees and go down. Good. 2. That should feel good on your back, right?
Yes.
Right, because these knees are in the right position. The minute that those legs come down, feel the difference of the stress in your back? Bad. Good. So how do you get these legs in that position? You could put your feet up against a wall or a chair or a bench. It doesn't matter that she is not touching her knees. It's reaching towards the knees and rest. Good. Excellent. Hand here.
It's a good exercise.
Very good. Thank you. So those are some examples of what you can be doing more so. Yes, that's good, yes. But you need cardio. You want to lose some weight, right? Guys, I need you to pay very careful attention. If you need to lose weight, you must be doing cardio, or you're never, ever going to lose the weight. Okay? So, look at athletes. All athletes that do cardio. Runners, are they thin or fat? Cyclists, are they thin or fat? Basketball players, swimmers. So, you think that's an accident? That all those athletes that mainly do cardio are thin. You think it's an accident? Hello? Right. Are weightlifters thin? Right, so if you want to lose weight, what should you be doing more of? Cardio. We're going to get along just great. Doesn't mean that you don't do weight-bearing moves. By the way, that was a weight-bearing move that she was doing also. She's using her body. Weight-bearing moves come in many different forms. You get benefit weight-bearing on your body by doing a stationary bike. Not as much as walking, but you're still receiving the benefit. Remember, exercise is cumulative. It adds up, just like not doing it is cumulative, right, guys? In other words, you don't become unfit by not working out for a month. You become unfit by not working out for many months. Just as you don't become fit in a month, but it helps and it adds, right? We want to take baby steps. We have become a nation where if we can't get it right away, we just discard it. Here's another thing. You don't have to like it to do it. We have really become a nation where it's like, oh, I tried that, I didn't like it. Yes, you ADD plus exponential forget-me-not person. You tried it for 3 minutes out of your life. Look, none of you guys wanted people with a cane or people with a handicap today or people with a medical or an orthopedic condition. Did you really enjoy coming here? But you got here, right? Sometimes we do things that we don't like, but they're good for us. And that's a mindset. So that's a focus. All right, questions. We got about 10 minutes left, guys. I need questions to help you. What else do we need help in today?
How many minutes you should exercise every day?
If you're overweight, you should work out 4 to 5 days a week. If you're just looking to build strength and your weight, scale weight is good, 3 days a week, and some light stretching in between.
How long? Half an hour?
Depending upon how fit you are. You want to work out eventually up to 45 minutes. And out of that 45 minutes, you have to decide how much should be cardio, right? How much should be stretching, how much should be abdominal work, and how much should be strengthening. And your body type Now we're going to get into that. Your body type dictates that. So, dieting is not the answer, but movement is. I want you to be thinking about eating as much as you're active. So how much fuel, how much food do you think you really need to marry and match your activity and fitness level a day? So what did you do today fitness-wise? You got here. Did you walk here? There you go. That's something. So how much do you think that she's earned dessert? Right. But that's just your daily activity. Right. So she hasn't earned dessert yet, right? But if you got on a stationary bike for 10 minutes, did some stretches, did a couple sit-ups, now you can eat that dessert. Not only guilt-free, but the scale is not going to move up. So you can enjoy the things that you want. And moderation is so overused. Moderation does not mean you can have it every day, just a small amount. Yes?
Is it better to have a workout buddy or do it yourself?
Well, that's an excellent question. Is it better to have a workout buddy than do it yourself? Obviously, anytime you have support, you're going to do better. You think you guys would work out every day if you had me in your house? You would, right? Of course you would. But what happens if that buddy can't show up? Typically, when people rely on a workout buddy, when he or she doesn't show up, either does you. However, if you can motivate yourself to work out on your own and then occasionally get together with someone, then yes. And if you both have the same exact schedule, then that could be a nice marriage, right? But how many people here have the same exact schedule to be able to work out at the same time every day, every week? Not a lot. You want to become independent of people, but yet somewhat dependent based upon your budget, based upon your needs and your goals. There's a book I want you to all get. It's called Escape Your Shape, if you can remember that. It's one of a number of books that I've written. Escape Your Shape. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $10, $11 on Amazon. It's an appetizer here in Manhattan. That will tell you everything about body types. It will review everything that I'm talking to you about today. How to warm up, how to stretch. What do you need? How much do you need? How to do all the stretches, how to do all those ab exercises. All right, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your name? Yes. No, you. Madeline? Hi, Madeline. What do you do fitness-wise right now?
Well, I walk here and walk back, and it's 10 blocks and 10 blocks.
So that's a mile. That's good.
And then I live at a place that has a circular path that if I do it 4 times, it's another mile.
Good.
So I try to do that extra one every day also, so that I can do 2 miles a day.
And how often do you do that?
Every day. When I come from here, I go around.
Okay. So how long have you been doing that?
Oh, about a year.
Okay, good. So I'm going to look through a crystal ball and I'm going to tell you what's happened. You tell me if I'm somewhat accurate. In the first 3-4 months, you dropped some weight. Am I correct? None? No. Either you did or you didn't. That's okay. So you lost no weight. Okay. So why didn't she lose weight? If she's working out 6-7 days, remember we talked about getting the A in gym class? Don't you think there is a direct correlation between motivation and results? They're tied in, right? I mean, don't you now have incentive to stretch your hamstrings? If she went like this, the gal that stretched with me before, to that, would you buy into stretching is important? Yes or no? No, you wouldn't. No, if she went the other way, But the fact that she was able to increase her range of motion didn't at least spark something in your brain that says, wow, I guess what this guy's talking about might be somewhat accurate, right? So you're not walking fast enough. So show me, walk in front of me right now, how fast you walk. How old are you, please? No, but a range. Are you a teenager? Are you a young adult? Okay, so that's it, right? Okay, why? Yeah. Okay, so with her, it's not a physical thing, it's a this thing. You don't want to be inconvenienced, do you? Maybe not. That's okay. I'm not judging it. I want to help it. And by you being truthful with me as you are, now I can help you. So, do you go to a gym?
No, but I come here.
Good. All right, so now I want you on a recumbent bike. Because now you can go faster. So walking may not be comfortable for you. Is it comfortable when you walk fast? In other words, walk faster.
It's not interesting.
Okay, so it's not interesting. Okay, so you know what? It becomes boring. So this is what you need to do. You need to stimulate yourself while you're exercising. So a peddler in front of a television or a peddler reading something or is going to stimulate. You like to read? There you go. So now we figured out what buttons to push with you, Madeline. And so now you can be more aggressive and burn more calories. That's a passive exercise mentality which only gets passive results. I want a lot better results because with all that time you're putting in, you should at least be losing some weight, right? So now when you go and exercise, try to remind yourself, let me push myself a little bit more. Let me push, and that's a learned trait, by the way. Learning how to, thank you, by the way, that was good. Learning how to exercise with the proper intensity is also a reason why people don't get to their fitness goals. So she's healthy. She's receiving the health benefit, the fitness benefit, but she's not receiving the third benefit of fitness, the aesthetic benefit. So isn't that called the A in gym class? Isn't that part of the multivitamin of fitness, guys? But within limitations. You're not going to take a passive exerciser and make them an A+ personality type. You're not. But we can maybe go from C- to a B, personality-wise, personality type-wise. Got it? And now you know. Let me push myself a little bit more. Even if it's only in increments or short spurts. Go like this. All right. And then slow down. And then speed up. And that's called interval training. You've heard of it, right? Has everyone heard of the term interval training? It's either yes or no. Okay, so you want to know what it is? Good. Intervals mean types of intensity measured. So when Madeline was walking, very nice, I love life. We want now Madeline to do, ooh, I'm a little tired, let me slow down. Oh, I caught my breath. Slow, fast, slow, fast. Different intervals of intensity, which burns more calories, right? Right. Cross-training, you know what cross-training is? Cross-training is if Madeline walked and did a stationary bike, she's crossing over to another type of exercise using different muscle groups so the body receives that benefit. So between cross-training and interval training, you couldn't have it any other way that would be better for you. And it doesn't matter where you start out at. You could walk on a treadmill at 2.0 miles an hour. And if that gets your heart rate up into your zone, you're receiving the same benefit as if I have to jog at 8 miles an hour. That's wild, isn't it? If your body can do one push-up, and that's all it can do, you receive the same health and fitness benefit as a guy who can do 50 push-ups. Isn't that great to know? Because you taxed and maxed out what your body was able to do. The key is not to stay at that one push-up level. And Madeline, you're staying at the one push-up level. We want to get you to the 5 push-up level, the 7. with her speed. Got it? Because what happens is that if you burn, let's say you walk a half hour and you burn 20 calories, doesn't matter what the number is. As you become more fit, that same period of time, 3 months later, you're only burning 5 calories. That sucks, doesn't it? It's the only one downside to fitness in the world. One thing, I'm not even going to call it negative, is that you have to keep pushing yourself, increasing intensity, to keep receiving the same benefits. And that is more of a mental thing. Everyone understand that? Yes? You put it on an incline. Perfect. Well, that's interval training. Isn't it more taxing to do it on an incline than flat? Well, you're at a different interval. Do you monitor your heart rate when you're on that? Right. When you go up, the heart rate goes up, right? Right. Don't worry about how many calories you're burning. Don't be obsessed with that. Just like don't worry about how many calories you're eating every day. Oh my God, am I counting this? You know that if you're eating properly, you know if you're exercising, you're sweating, and you're out of breath, but not too much out of breath, you're receiving a benefit. Yes? Yeah, but they're running. That's fine. Don't compare. That's great. I'm glad that, what is your first name? Karen? Karen, that's a very good point. Sometimes we get intimidated by watching other people at the gym, don't we? But you don't have to. Is someone saying, Karen, we're not going to let you in the gym if you can't run at 7.0 miles per hour on an incline of 25%? No. Focus on yourself. Okay? Don't worry about what they're doing. Yes. I would do it every other day. You do it what? Right, you don't do it that often. Okay, so here's someone who has a different dilemma than Madeline. Madeline is consistent, but she's not intense enough. Karen is intense enough, but not that consistent. We need to put Karen's mindset into Madeline's body and Madeline's consistency into Karen's mind, right? If we could do that, every child would be perfect. So you want to work at it. Know what your weaknesses are. Know what you're not good at, and strive towards being better. I know that Madeline's going to go and walk faster. She's not going to double her speed because she met Ed Jakowski, but at least she's conscious of it now. And over time, Madeline will be more aggressive. And over time, I'm hoping that, Karen, you're going to be more consistent. What do you do? Anything? Fitness-wise? No? Would you like to start doing some things? Okay, so for you, you want to start biking, right? That would be the best for you because that's going to start shedding weight off of you and it's going to get you motivated. You know, sweating is a wonderful, wonderful piece of medication. When you're not doing well and you have stress, you sweat. After you sweat, break a sweat. Those endorphins, you've heard of that, right? That's how you get those endorphins going. That's why when you're tired and you go out for a brisk walk, you feel so much better, don't you? So that's where you have to reach down, dig down deep for that self-motivation. I want to thank you all for coming today. Okay, thank you. Enjoyed it.